One of the reasons that I chose this book is I translated this into Japanese. The Powers of Thought. This is the book I chose for the reading. I read this book very early stage of learning Master Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov, and I was very surprised how strong the thoughts are. And then this book taught me so many things, and I still read this so many times, then still give me new discoveries each time.
Words from within. Welcome to Omraam World.
Okay, I'm going to read Chapter 4. Thoughts are living entities. If there is one thing that is important for you to know, it is that every thought, even the most insignificant, is a living reality. Thoughts can even be seen. There are people who can see them. Of course, on the physical plane, a thought is invisible and intangible, but it is no less real. In its own region and with its own subtle matter, it is a living, active being. The fact that this is generally known is the cause of much misfortune. Human beings cannot see or feel that their thoughts are active, that they are either constructive or destructive, so they allow themselves to think whatever they please, without realizing that, in doing so, they are putting obstacles in the way of their own evolution. God has given the mightiest, most potent form of power that exists to the spirit, and as every one of our thoughts is pregnant with the power of the spirit which brought it into being, the power is constantly at work. Knowing this, each one of you has the possibility of becoming a benefactor of humankind. By projecting your thoughts into the farthest reaches of space, you can send out messages of light to help, comfort, enlighten, and heal others. He who undertakes this work knowingly and deliberately gradually penetrates into the mysterious arcana of divine creation. If only orthodox science would start to look into these extremely important questions of thought. At the moment, unfortunately, it is only interested in marking rocks and bombs. Actually, I am aware that there is some research going on in the United States and the Soviet Union into the question of telepathy. Take, for example, just one of the American experiments in which two people with telepathic ability were chosen. One of them had to send mental messages which the other one had to pick up. The sender remained in Washington, where he was closely guarded by a panel of experts who checked and controlled the whole process. Every message was noted and locked up in a safe so that there could be no possibility of cheating. The receiver was taken on board a submarine which was submerged into a great depth in the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from Washington. He, too, was under strict surveillance by a team of experts, and as he picked up each message and wrote it down, it was immediately locked up in a safe. When the messages that had been sent were compared to those received, there was only a very small margin of error. This experiment proves that the waves emitted by human can travel great distances, although no one knows how far exactly. But then no one knows either how far the rays of the sun or of any other star can travel, since the light from a star that is already dead continues to travel through space. And the same is true of human thought. Our thoughts are rays of a sun, the sun that is our spirit. The sun projects the quintessence of prodigious power, which his rays, like so many little wagons loaded with food and treasure, carry to great distances in space. And the spirit of human, like the sun, sends out his rays, his thoughts, which carry good or ill with them wherever they go. Another fact proved by this experiment is that, unlike alpha, beta, gamma, and X-rays, human thought is capable of penetrating great depths of water. Thought, therefore, can produce its effects at great distances and has greater powers of penetration than these physical rays. As soon as you have a thought, it goes out from you into the world, where it influences other people's mind. By your thoughts, you are constantly setting in motion all kinds of processes of which you know nothing. What conclusion imposes itself? The conclusion that if you allow yourselves to entertain negative, dark, destructive thoughts, the law of affinity causes them to trigger similar thoughts in the minds of thousands and thousands of other human beings. Even if you know nothing about it, this is still the case, and you are responsible and will be punished for it. Because no one has the right to influence another human being negatively or to destroy something good in him. If human beings were sufficiently sensitive, they would see that certain people were surrounded by heavy clouds, by entities of darkness that hover around them, and that, after that, these entities go out into space and do untold damage, and the people concerned have no idea that it is they who are the authors of the damage. Imagine, just for a moment, that you hate someone so much that every day you contemplate killing him, even if you don't actually dare to do so. There is still a danger that your murderous thoughts will be put into effect because another human being with the same structure and disposition as yourself may pick up your thoughts through the law of affinity and commit a crime of which, without knowing it, you are the author. A great many crimes are committed by people who say, "I don't know what got into me. I had never thought about doing anything like that. I suddenly felt I had to obey the impulse." They themselves are surprised and dismayed. They cannot understand how they could do such a thing. Well, it is often because without realizing it, they had been influenced by another. And of course, this is just as true in the area of feelings as in that of thoughts. Like thought, emotion is a force which emanates from human and travels through space, doing either good or evil. Make up your minds, therefore, to project only thoughts and feelings that will have the most beneficial effects. Whenever you feel that you are no longer in control of the situation, that you are giving away to a negative impulse, you must immediately react and correct your sights. if you are not conscious of what is happening, if you entertain bad, negative thoughts without even being aware of it, those thoughts will go off and do their damage, and it will be your misfortune. We read in the Gospels, "Be watchful," and this means that humans must keep a watchful eye on what's going on inside them, not on the outside. You are not in any great danger from things outside you. It is not always necessary to be keyed up in case someone attacks you in the street. Be watchful. Yes, it is our spirit, our consciousness that must be watchful. This precept concerns the inner life far more than the outer life. Outwardly, most of you are in no danger of having your throat slit, but inwardly, you are liable to be attacked very viciously. You are liable to be stung and beaten and rended. You are liable to have boiling water poured over you and be thrown into freezing water. It is Dante's Inferno all over again. Well, all these torments are the remnants of thoughts that took their source in you and are now coming forth to roost. It is essential for you to know and understand, henceforth, that nothing is more important than to be aware and vigilant about your thoughts. Obviously, this is not something that you can learn to do overnight. For some time to come, you will still be subject to certain tribulations, but one day you will be in a position to master the situation. God has given a mindset. あ、間違えた。Sorry. God has given them. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is clear enough.
It's adorable.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I
I
hope
would like to take...
This book gave me a strong impact and gave me a big change to my life also. Since I've read this book, I learned how to use thoughts. Then thoughts create our lives. Thoughts create my life too.